He joins us this morning on the Harbor One hotline. Devin, good morning.
Good morning. I'm missing all the excitement.
Yeah, we have a ton of toys here for Toys for Tots and a whole bunch of New England Patriots football fans. So give Devin a round of applause, will you guys? Woo. This is it. This is Devin's last season with the New England Patriots. He told us that last week. How's the week been in Arizona?
It's been good, and I would say the surprising thing is it's been really, really cold here. So, but it's been good. I think spending time with guys, in between meetings and stuff, and bus rides to practice at Arizona, and then after the day is over, everyone just kind of hanging out in the cafeteria. It's been really good.
A lot of talk here after Matthew Slater mentioned that Mac Jones had addressed the team. You want to tell us a little bit about what that was about?
Mac addressed the team?
Yeah, Mac addressed the team. Talked to everybody, said it wasn't a vacation out there. I mean, unless Slater was maybe throwing some fraudulent information out there.
No, I think that was just like the end of practice when we bring it up. I wouldn't say that's a big deal.
Okay.
We do that every day.
All right, not a big deal. Okay. We want Wiggy to come. Would you guys want Wiggy to come in and address the team? He's willing to do that. Might take an hour.
That's all right.
For price.
I would say Wiggy knows that's just like at the end of practice we always bring it in as a team, and I would say between myself, Slade, Mac, Wise, Bentley, I would say some of the veteran guys, Jonathan Jones, AP, like anybody will break it down and give a message. Judon to the team, and that's always something. Like Juice spoke yesterday when we broke it down. So I would say it's always our kind of the leadership, not just the captains, but the leadership of the team that brings it, as we break it down, might give a message to the team.
Well, Dev, I know there's been some conversations here, with Mac saying some of the things where being coached harder and, just some of the different coaching styles. You've been around Bill a long time. Have you seen maybe Bill lighten up on his style of coaching, or is Bill still kind of the same, style of coaching where being on players, making sure players are accountable? Has there been some change in that where, maybe guys might want a little bit more from him when it comes to his style of coaching?
No, I would say overall, a lot of guys know what you're going to get from Bill, and the expectation, the standard, and he always talks about that. The standard never changes, and it's all about guys rising to that. So I would say, that's always been the same from an overall team standpoint. And I think that's just how, if you become a New England Patriot, like that's how it is. And, I think everyone kind of is aware and knows that.
So just and again, it's what we all do is we all sit around and talk about what's going on there. So it's always helpful to have you, shed some light on what everybody's talking about. Are there guys when it comes to the offense side of the football that are frustrated with that offense, with the way the plays are being called? Is there a group of guys that you've seen who are frustrated with that?
I don't know. I mean, I've always preached the same thing to guys. This is a football game. So I haven't had any conversations with anybody about frustration or, like, I don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. Like, I haven't had those conversations. I've had a lot of conversations about what we need to do to kind of press forward, try to end this West Coast trip the right way, and, try to make the best what's left of our season to, try to get in and continue our season after the regular season. So I'll say overall that's been a lot of the focus. Like, I don't know, what guys have said. I think in the world we live in sports, if you say one thing and mention anything after a game or anything, like, it becomes a big deal. So I'm not 100% sure, like, where that's coming from. Again, like I always tell you, I play defense, so I'm not always in tune to what's going on offense. But I would say overall as a team, like, it's been a lot of focus on how do we go and win these next games to continue our season.
Playing Josh this weekend, Devin, in a million years, when Josh left to go to the Raiders, did you ever anticipate your old defensive coordinator would be calling offensive plays?
I think we talked about that earlier in the season. And I think, like, to keep, addressing it as, like, this surprising thing, like, Matty's been calling our offense all season now. And I think that's something that it is what it is. And I think now let's go win football games. But I think for us as a team, offensively, Matty P, team, like, I think it sucks to, like, still be addressing this. I think as a team, we need to focus on winning. Like, whatever it is, who's playing quarterback, who's our defensive ends, who's our safeties, who's our offensive, like, that's not changing. We're deep into this season. Let's focus on winning. And that's what I'm focusing on. That's what I think the team needs to be focused on. I think that's what we've been preaching the whole back half of this season.
Devin, another big talking point this week is Devontae Parker and the concussion spotter, not seeing him until Nelson was able to flag him down. How important is it in your mind that players are looking out for each other once a play is over to make sure everybody's good to go once you guys get ready for the next one?
Yeah, we talk about that every year. I would say Jim Whalen, our head trainer, always says that in the beginning of the season when he comes in and talks to the team, usually the first people that will see that a guy's not right is his teammates, because you're used to being with that guy in the huddle every day. You know kind of how he is, what to expect. So we always talk about protecting each other and doing what's right for that individual player, not necessarily like getting lined up and running a play that's best for the team, but overall, like, a guy's health, always has to come first.
Were you surprised that it took that long for the spotter to notice? Because I know you didn't have a head injury, but they spotted you pretty quickly for something that wasn't a concussion.
Well, mine was after his, so I think that everything gets heightened after. But I think a lot of us saw it when he went down and how he got up. But I have no idea. I don't know what the spotter. I don't know what their kind of how it works for them or anything. So I don't know their protocols, but I would say I saw it pretty quickly of just how he got up and how he went down. But yeah, after that play, I think everybody was on high alert.
You mentioned Matthew Judon earlier. He seems frustrated with the amount of times that he has been randomly tested. Do you feel like maybe...
How about that? Who wants to hear him cry about how many times he's tested? Nobody wants to hear that nonsense.
It's like, go in there. So you're basically saying if you got nothing to worry about, go in there and do your business and don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm just saying nobody, he made some phone calls and figured it out, but the regular people, they don't care about that. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense. Just keep getting sacks, right? That's what you guys were thinking.
Yeah, keep eating up them sacks. 14 and a half.
Yeah.
We found out he likes melatonin, though, so that was
help him sleep.
Yeah.
Dev, when you look at this game, the thing that's always interesting, and I think fans always want to look at, but give them a little insight to, you're playing against Josh McDaniels, a guy that you see in his offense day in and day out when he was the offensive coordinator here. But also on the flip side of that, he's seen that defense day in and day out. What are some of the challenges that come with having such familiarity with the guy who you are now facing?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that, I don't know if everyone knows that from watching football, but like we always consider Josh like his offense is a game plan offense. So even though we've seen it, over and over again in training camp, we've seen it in its basic form. And, I think what's always made Josh so good is each week, you're not going to get the same plays that you saw last week. You're not going to get the same plays sometimes as you saw 2 weeks ago. He's going to game plan for whatever you do on defense, what he thinks your strengths are, what he thinks your weaknesses are, and that's how he's going to call the game. So even though we've seen it a lot, we can't always think like, man, we've seen this over and over again, like we know, because some of the things we've seen in training camp might not necessarily be for our defense, but he was running plays in preparation for another defense that they're going to play. So I think we just got to be on alert, be ready in the game to see how, he's going to attack us, what he's going to try to do, and be ready to adjust and play to that. But, some of the things we have seen, and, I think like you said, he knows that too. He knows what he does. He knows the plays that he's ran against us. So I'm sure, early in the game, it'll be a battle of kind of, both sides figuring each other out of, how it's gonna go today, how's this dance gonna go. But we got to be ready, and like you said, we know each other well. So within the game, things will happen. You'll have to adjust and play to whatever it is at that moment. Not all of the things that it possibly could be that we're talking about now.
I know you got to get to work. It is early out there. But before you go, Wiggy said an odd thing on the show the other day, which, it happens. And you may be able to confirm. Wiggy said that there's no such thing as nachos in Arizona. Have you encountered any nachos this week?
Dan, you should have told me early in the week. I didn't pay attention if, I was seeing nachos or not.
Well, it's not a big thing out there. My kid goes to U of A, and like the it's authentic Mexican food out there. So like nachos.
But I think nachos are very, very authentic.
No, I don't think it's like big nachos and
it's chips and guacamole. And is there anything more?
And fajitas are not big.
Is there anything more authentic than guacamole?
Yeah, but I think fajitas and nachos.
I will say in Phoenix, we went to a Mexican restaurant, and I did not see nachos.
Oh, Wiggy right again.
Right, Wiggy right again.
Well, I appreciate that.
All right, I guess I owe him an apology.
That's all right. Don't you got to apologize.
Right. Round of applause, everybody, for Devin McCourty. They want you to go win this one, Devin.
Me too.
Could you ask Patricia if there's nachos? He might know better.
Curtis. Jeez. God. Curtis. All right, Devin.
Curtis taking a personal shot there.
No, not at all. He just seemed to like him.
Curtis is one of those reformed fat people. They're the worst.
Oh, God in heaven.
They lose like 10, 15 pounds. They start pointing at everybody else.
Who's the guy that posts his freaking trainer every 5 minutes?
All right. Devin, listen, we won't, these guys will talk to you next week, but I won't talk to you before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you and the family, and go get them on Sunday, all right?
Merry Christmas to you too, man. Appreciate it.
All right, there's Devin McCourty.